4 of those areas, right? You're hitting on visual, audio, reading and writing, and kinesthetics. And you're designing your entire presentation to do all of that, and you're getting people engaged through everything, right? So now you're asking them their wants and their needs and everything else. So you're finding all this information out when you're chatting with somebody or you're giving a group presentation. When you get these objections that come up, and I'll have you guys kind of ask me some of these objections, and I'll go ahead and cover these for you. How's that sound, right?
Yes.
But coming from my playing field, I already know your wants and your needs and everything else and what you're looking to do and try to achieve. So when these objections come up, I try to always funnel them and answer them as simple as possible. But does anybody got and usually here's the thing, when we talk about objections, there's not infinite objections out there or complaints. Usually there's about, probably I can count them on one hand, 4 or 5, right?
Yep.
So what are the big ones that we run into each and every time?
Ponzi.
What's that?
Ponzi, rug
Ponzi
pull.
scam. Yeah, what's that? Ponzi pyramid. Time, okay? Time as far as what?
Not having time to do it.
Not having time to do it, okay?
Many utilities, but that's been addressed. So
Okay, usually in the presentation that should be addressed. They should understand what that is. What else? Rug pull. Money, okay? Money as far as maybe don't have it.
Don't have it.
Yep, okay?
Belief.
Huh? Decentralized, okay? That's okay. That's a good one. Okay, I like that. How about we start off with these right here? Okay, that's good. So let's start off with the decentralized one, right? So we get a lot about that because in the early days we start talking about we're building the largest decentralized mine and we're doing it right in Texas, right? So you get anybody that's in crypto, they start saying, whoa. If you guys are all, if this is a permission based, then that's not decentralized, right? And I get that. And the purpose of what we're trying to say, and again, this is kind of like that game where you have the telephone, right? You tell one person, they tell that, and they tell that, and the message gets kind of
Changed.
changed over time. The whole part when we start saying decentralized, guys, is again, our goal is we're building a mine. It is a permission-based network, right? And so only the people that are a part of our organization get to reap the rewards. Nobody's stealing our rewards, right? China, other countries, big corporations, nobody steals it. Only the people that are part of our community, right? Where the decentralized comes in is our plan is we're going to have anywhere from about 30 to 35 major sites that are around, okay, that are going to have these mining locations, and we're going to have thousands and thousands of in-home miners in people's homes. That's where the decentralization comes in. You can't just shut down one thing. There's mining operations all over the place. That's what we consider decentralized, all right? Now let's break it down. People say, well, that's not really decentralized, Tim. I said, hey, I understand that. But I've got an argument to make too when people start saying that Bitcoin and these others are decentralized. In Bitcoin, if people don't realize, well, Bitcoin is mainly operated, okay? There's 5 main mining pools that operate and hold 80% of the Bitcoin out there, all right? It used to be somebody could buy a miner and they could mine Bitcoin. Now they say you have more luck in striking the lottery than doing something like that. It's something whereas you'll end up hitting a block reward if you're a single miner every 2,000 years. It's literally impossible. So what do? So then, if you want to mine Bitcoin, you join a mining pool. So typically you join one of the 5 big mining pools. You pay for that right to do that. And what happens is those 5 main mining pools are large enough with their huge operations that they hit rewards regularly. And those rewards then are distributed to everybody that's in that mining pool. What does that sound like to you?
Texitcoin.
Sounds like what we're doing, right? Yeah. Only difference is we're not fighting against everybody. Yep. We know what we're getting because we've said how many people that are going to be in our organization, how many mining seats and how big it is. We're controlling that, but it's the same type of premise. So really, is Bitcoin, decentralized? You could say it is, but it's really controlled by those 5 companies. Bobby said it to me once. He said, Tim, we could fix the honest money really simple. If you got all 5 of those companies, okay, that control the 80% of the Bitcoin, you got them on one stage and you said, you know what, I've got a plan. We can fix the money issue. All we need you to do is reduce your transaction hash and everything like that down to where it's next to nothing so that we can use Bitcoin as currency, right? They're going to laugh at you. They're making too much money. They're never going to do that, right? That's where their process is. They make money off of all of that, right? Our goal is to be traded, is to be currency, right? Our goal for us to thrive to get a higher price is not off of transaction fees. It's off of usability of our utility of what our blockchain is. The more people that are using our blockchain, and the stronger our blockchain is, the more usable that blockchain is, the more expensive our price will be. We know that the size of our blockchain, right, will dictate the size of our price. The larger our blockchain is, the more people that are using it, the more the price will go up too. That's what we're. It's not about the transaction fees and everything else. Does that make sense? So again, I can argue the decentralization of that.
Yeah, I do have a question about that one part. I'm make myself look stupid here, but as you come on with L2 layer 2 tokens, as they come down the road, there are transaction fees that will take place. Is Texit will be the utility token or the gas fee, if you will?
So they'll be using, so again, that strengthens the Texitcoin blockchain. All the layer 2s, good question, are going to be working on top of the Texitcoin blockchain. Well, in order for those layer 2s to use the Texitcoin blockchain, there's going to be a transaction, be a gas fee, right? They're going to have to purchase some TXC. Well, you get a ton of people doing that, right? And what happens? More the price goes up. Texitcoin chain becomes more valuable, all right? So that's very good. Now let's talk about the Ponzi scheme. So I kind of wrap down all the Ponzi scheme, the pyramid, pump and dip, rug pull, all those things. You want to talk about that, but you don't want to spend a whole lot of time. So again, when we're coming through there, and if you've done your job on your presentation and you've told your personal story of why you're in it and what you've seen, and maybe they've heard testimonials from other people, again, we don't have to lie about anything, right? This project's good enough. If we just sell it on its merits, people are going to gravitate to it because there's a real need, right? And we have a solution for that. So when I start talking about the difference between what is a pyramid scheme, right? So a pyramid scheme is designed for the people at the top to make all the money and nothing trickles down to the bottom. In some cases, it can be a regular multi-level marketing thing. Most multi-level marketing things, only the people at the top make the money, the people at the bottom don't, okay? With ours, our program is designed that the person at the very bottom, the person that joins today, can make just as much as the person that joined at the beginning. It's capped, right? $3,000 per week per spot. Therefore, again, if you just get involved, John, okay, you can make just as much as Bobby's daughter who was first money in each week. Therefore, it's not a pyramid scheme, okay? Commissions are paid out weekly. And that leads me into the Ponzi scheme, okay? A Ponzi scheme, by definition, is they make all these outlandish claims about huge returns, right? And what they do is they collect the money and then they start paying off the old promises to the people that got in early about all those huge returns they're going to get. And then they collect some more new money and pay off all the old promises. The problem that happens is when there's no more new money that comes in, they can't pay off the old promises. What happens? The ship sinks, right? That's a Ponzi scheme. Why are we not set up like that? Is because week in and week out, every commission is paid every single week. We don't have any old promises to pay. So if we don't have any new sales that come in, we don't have any old promises, nobody makes a commission, right? So there's nothing to pay out. So the ship's not going to sink based on that premise. Now, obviously, we can't go weeks and weeks without selling any seeds. It just means it takes us longer to get to our goal. But we don't have any old promises lingering. So therefore, it's not a Ponzi scheme. There's nothing that's going to sink the ship with this, okay? The rug pull guys, he's talked about that several times. He even talked about this on the last call, about coin market cap, right? We have looked at the top 100 holders of TXC, okay? The people that got in early, those are the people that could hurt, per se, our project. If all of those banded up together and sold out everything, and quite frankly, I'm one of those people too. Okay, so two things when I tell people when they talk about a rug pull. The only thing that would happen is if those top 100 people, okay, we don't have any pre-mined coins. Everybody starts at zero, right? Okay, so the people that got in early stand the chance to hurt us the most if all of them sold. But as far as that, we're not pre-mined, okay? And so what happens is you look at the top 100. Well, when we started, it was like 58%. Now we've gotten that number down to about 38%, and we're continually working on breaking that down. Why is that important? Is because when we have less of the top 100, okay, that own the larger percentage, the less, the worse that, or the least that somebody could hurt us, right? So it's spread out. We have more people with more wallets that have this money in there, all right? But when it comes down to, but what about the founder? Couldn't he just run around? What stops this project from the founder running away with all the money?
Tim Williams. Tim Williams stops it.
Yeah, there's nothing. There's really nothing. There's no guarantee. He could run away now. But guess what? He could have run away 6 months ago too.
We know where he lives.
He could have tucked away.
We have a lot of people mad.
He could have ran away with millions of dollars already, and he hasn't. And why is that? Well, I'll tell you. The reason why I'm sitting here today and the reason why I left a 24-year-old career to come work this full time is because I believe the vision in the founder. It all starts from the leadership. I've looked him eyeball to eyeball. I've squared up with him, and I see his passion in this project. You know what I mean? I see that he's going to die on this hill. It's what he's always wanted. He just didn't have the right vehicle to make it happen, to bring it to the world. Now he does. So he's going to die on that hill. Does that mean that this is guaranteed to work? No, there's no guarantee. But take a look at what you're putting in and what the opportunity is to reward. That's what you have to determine yourself. But as far as rug pull, there's no guarantee, but I can tell you we've reduced a lot of that risk. Does that make sense? Yeah. So that's kind of how we explain that. What's another one of those? Multi-level marketing. Well, I don't want to be one of those multi-level marketers. Guys, I get that. But you know what? Word of mouth advertising is one of the most powerful things out there that you can do. But we kind of emulate a multi-level marketing company, but we're not exactly a multi-level marketing company. Why? Because with us, there's just a one-time investment. We'll never ask you for any more money. There's no subscriptions. You don't have to buy any lotions, potions, perfumes, deodorants, supplements, and you have to store it in your closet and you have to pawn it off to all your friends and family members. None of that. You make a one-time payment to this, you're in it, and you get to reap the rewards every single day. Now you get the opportunity that if you would like to share this with others and they decide to join our community, then guess what? You get a reward for that. And it's pretty awesome. So you get all the upsides of the multi-level without the downsides.
Amen.
Okay? That's how I present it with the multi-level.
Also say on that is like I always tell people in business, tell me what's not.
Yeah.
Like what is it? Like if you really step back and think about it, all businesses.
Everything's a pyramid.
Everything's a pyramid. Everything's
Everything's a pyramid.
But it doesn't have to be a scheme or a scam or anything else like that. And that's where we're different than a lot of the projects and things like
The
that.
other thing with a network marketing company, what's their goal? To be around forever.
Yeah.
Look at Amway, look at Motivate, look at them. This goes away.
Yeah.
And mine's sold.
Yeah, the multi-level
That's
marketing
not-
side, that crowdfunding is just to have us finish phase one, which is building the mind. Yeah.
I believe mining requires network marketing. A lot of companies may choose network marketing for the leverage because you've got great customers, but mining requires it, right? You can't have 10 investors buy all the mines and that's it. It won't be worth anything.
Well, no, I mean, you can join a mining pool just paying your money and then you reap the rewards because you're in a big group that's already done it.
Right.
But how did that group get to where they were? Who knows? how they
Look
got
at
there.
this, and look at this community, how it's
Yeah.
going, right?
Yeah.
Word of mouth.
The big thing is you just shut it down and you shut it down really quick. We emulate some of those things, but we kind of have all the best of the worlds, but not the scammy things of it, right? And that's really what it is. But then I usually turn it back on the people that I'm talking to. So now I understand your concern. Well, there's no guarantee. You can sit there and wait till this is a guarantee, and when that happens then your opportunity of making really good money has diminished, right? If you want to wait till this gets on Coinbase, well then you're not going to get the chance of the possibly 100x return. Once it's a guarantee, the opportunity diminishes. So you have to ask yourself what you're comfortable with. If you're not comfortable with this, then don't do it.
Amen.
Right? But if you're looking for something that's going to give you a leg up, I haven't seen anything else out there better than this. Let me ask you, John, do you feel that this would help you with X, Y, and Z of what you just told me, right? I always go back to what their wants and needs are. And again, if you're genuine and authentic, that's the biggest thing. If you come across salesy and scammy, right, then maybe that's what they're going to think. But most people that I talk to don't feel that because I'm genuine. I want to help you, okay? What are your wants and needs? What are you looking for right now in your life, right? Well, I've got something that I'd like to share with you that I think fits that bill. And then you tell me if you think you would like to be a part of this.
I'm in.
Good. Congratulations. What were some of the other objections we talked about? Money, okay? Okay, so let me ask you. There's never a perfect time. I get this, right? If you can't afford it, then don't do it. If you lost some money you put in and you risk it and it would crush you financially, don't do it. But let me ask you, if you don't do this, what's your plan to fix X, Y, Z that you said that you want to do?
Very good.
I turn it back on them because, again, people don't know what they don't know. They're scared. They're fearful. They don't want to put that maybe little money, and that's a big money to them. And I'm not discounting $1,000. $1,000 is $1,000. What do they say? Most people in America don't have $1,000 set aside, right? That they could do something, right? If an emergency happened. Yeah. That's a problem, right? So if you don't do this, then what are you going to do? If not now and if not why, right?
Not now and when.
When? Sorry, yeah. I was going to book number 3. Yeah, book 3 is going to come up. My point is if you're not going to do this, what are you going to do, and what is going to help you fix what XYZ, what you're looking to do, right? And take a chance. Look at my community. Look at what we've done, right, already. If you like the vision and where we're going, there's no guarantee. But man, I've been in some real estate deals, and I've spent a heck of a lot more that didn't pan out, right? And people told me from the day I was born that real estate's the most solid investment, right? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. It hasn't worked out too good for me. I'd rather have that money back than I could have put into this, right? Yeah. So if not now, what are you going to do? What are you going to do for yourself, right, to get there? Okay? Maybe it takes you a little bit to, look at what you're spending out there. But I can tell you there's nothing else out there that I've seen that gives you that potential of an upside, okay? So do something for yourself. Let's put something together. Let's get in, talk to your mom, talk to your dad, talk to whoever, and see if you can get yourself in this, okay? And let's do this together. Let's build this together. That's the thing. I'm not asking somebody to get involved that I'm not going to help out. I want to know their goals, and I'm going to help them with a plan. That's the benefit of joining the community, right? Anybody can go out there and buy coins and hope that it goes up or down or whatever. Look at where we're at right now with the price. If people buy coins, it goes up, goes down, whatever. But if they're a part of our community, we get to help them every step of the way, right? It's all about helping. What other objections or whatever do we have?
Tim, sometimes I break it down to the ridiculous, because $1,000 these days is not a whole lot of money. If you take your family out, not just you by yourself, 10 times through the whole year, that's $1,000. Maybe you should stay and eat at home those 10 times and have something for the future. Because this is a gift that keeps on giving and giving and giving.
I used to break it down into ridiculous too. You got to watch out because again, $1,000 to a lot of people, that is a lot of money. I mean, some of us that we're talking about, most of the people in this room were pretty fortunate, right? But there's a lot of people out there that might not have that. But again, if they don't do this, what's really going to help them? They're always going to be perpetually stuck in this state.
Right.
We're trying to give them a hand. We're not trying to give them a handout. We're trying to give them a handout. Right? So, yes.
So, what I ask people is, well, what do you have that you can put on Facebook Marketplace? Everybody's got junk to get rid of. So that's why they're broke to begin with, because they bought too many things they shouldn't be buying, right?
How about, hey, yeah, that's a really nice Louis Vuitton purse you got sitting there.
What's it doing for you?
Yeah. What were some of the other big ones that you guys run into for objections?
One guy runs it all, so what if something happens to Bobby?
Okay, then we all have a problem. That's the answer. Yeah. That is the answer. If something happens to Bobby, what happens to that? Yeah, we all got a problem because we're not there yet. Now, we've got 47,000 people. It started with his vision in his garage, and now it's not just on him to make this thing hit the goal line. We've got 47,000 people, okay, like-minded people that are pushing this towards the goal line, right? He has the vision. He's got the path to 16, but the only way that path to 16 is going to happen, he doesn't have any magic pills or a magic wand. It's up to the people that are in this to make that path to 16 actually happen, right? It's up to us. But yes, if something happened to him, that would be a big problem.
But it could still go on.
Yeah. It can still go
Like
on.
Bitcoin goes on, and there's nobody running it.
There's a difference on that one, though.
Yeah.
Bitcoin's the largest, it's established. There's not a problem.
In the beginning it was.
I would tell people this, yes, if something happened to him, we all want to protect him and keep him around because I'm not ready to run this thing, right? I don't want to take it, right? So, yes, that could be a problem. But don't be concerned about the what ifs, right? On that, think about the what ifs if you don't do it.
Right.
What are you going to do to fix X, Y, Z?
What you can control.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
I think we're beautifully set up, but the constraint became clear to me today, seeing all of the ant miners stacked up not working. So can you walk me through the process of how you can get power sourced? Are you working directly with ERCOT, or is it town by town?
We hired somebody, well, it's different. We did hire somebody now that is in that realm, that is their main focus, that they've got the contacts with these people, okay? So before we didn't have that. He hired a couple people and they said, we can get it done. They didn't get it done, they got fired. He hired a couple more people, said, well, we can get it done. Guess what? They didn't get it done, so he fired them. Now we actually hired people that actually know what they're doing. That's where we found this Conroe site where we're taking 2 of these, putting them in place, and we should have that hooked up. I thought we were going to have that hooked up before even Victoria, But now Victoria's going to be going, which is great. And now we're, the next phase is taking 2 of these, hooking them up at Conroe. Then we're going to be sitting pretty, guys. We're looking really, really good. It's really exciting.
12 million.
And that's all we got to do is focus on these things here.
So just to clarify, is he working directly with ERCOT, or is he going from town to town and like, how does that work?
The guy we hired, you mean?
Mm.
Yeah, he's got the contacts. So his background is major data centers.
Okay.
So he's got connections with all these places that already have all the power already worked out that you just rent the power from them. Like this site in Conroe there was like 5 megawatts of power that were left over whoever owns this facility is paying. So they need somebody to come in and take that. We said, no, we're not going to take up 5 because we don't want 5 containers at one location. We want multiple different sites all over the place. So, but we are going to put 2 containers there just so we can get caught up. The purpose is to be in all these different cities. So now the cities get to take ownership of that too and say, hey, look at this. This is what's powering our downtown digital dollars. That program that we started that's being successful, this is what promotes this. If we have all these machines all in just one location, it doesn't fit for our vision of what we're trying to do.
Last thing, is there any synergy?
I'm going to hold you to that. This is the last one. No more.
Is there any synergies like working with all of these, because they're all owned independently and managed through ERCOT?
Yeah.
Are we helping them manage supply and demand? Because I know in the past couple of years, power's gone out, and it's because supply and demand.
Again, we have. So the answer yes is eventually we'll probably get there. We're not there yet because we're just a small fish, right? We haven't had too many of these hooked up. But yeah, there could be some different things down the road when we're going to be taking up so much power, a give and take and everything else like that. But that's where we hired somebody that knows that way more than I or Bobby or anybody else.
Because that's a good way to handle objections. People say, what about all the mining? It's taking all this power. Well, actually, it can help you stabilize the grid.
Yep. Good question.
I've had somebody that asked me.
Let me ask you, are all you guys just coming up with more questions so you don't have to do your 5-minute pitches?
No,
You guys all sat on the bus. I wasn't on the bus. You said if you ask him a bunch of questions, he'll just keep talking. Robbie told us to do that.
No, this is a valid question, and it's been asked of me by several different financial advisors.
Okay.
The question is about, is this a security? You can't call it a security and an investment. What do you say to that? Because I'm just like, we're not. So
Very good question. So here's our stance.
We're not.
Okay? Here's our stance. And I love financial advisors because they know everything.
They do.
They know everything, and they've been doing it for 30 years, and I can appreciate that. But my wallet doesn't really show that, or my bank account sometimes doesn't show that with what they're doing, right? So here's our take on this. We don't feel that we're breaking any laws. Do we know that to be certain? No, we don't. We don't feel that we're breaking any laws, though, and we know certainly that we're not doing anything criminal. Okay. We're doing everything that we say that we're going to do. Okay. He made 3 promises, right? Mm-hmm. The money that he collects in, he made 3 promises that he's going to do. He's going to pay the commissions, right? He's going to build the mine, and he's going to promote TXC. That's what he's promised when you give him basically a donation, right? He's promising you those 3 things. And now when we do those 3 things, we're hoping that we're going to build the mine and do all these things. Well, you've just seen today that we're doing one of those promises, right? We are building the mine, right? So we don't feel that we're doing anything wrong with what we're doing. We know we're not doing anything criminal, okay? But you yourself have to make that determination if you're comfortable enough about joining our community. Mm-hmm. If that is a deal breaker for you, and if you want more concrete things and stuff like that, then maybe this isn't for you, okay? Because we're all pulling this together. We're a big community the community project that's working together, that hopefully we're going to change the way that money is done, and we're going to make some money in the process too, right? So will something come down the pipeline? Maybe it will, and if it does, then we'll address it at that time. You can have one lawyer tell you one thing, and I can pay another lawyer that's going to tell you the absolute opposite. Okay,
that's what happened with Coinbase and everything else. They didn't register. Then they came back and said, "Hey, we think you have to register." They still operated while they were doing it. It is what it is.
I can promise this won't be my last question.
No, he's out of question.
I know. I'm not saying that. No, but for real, it's interesting that I haven't heard this come up, because it is the one thing I do get the most of. Maybe it's just my culture. I don't understand crypto. I don't want to be involved in something I don't get.
That's understandable, right?
Yes, and I totally understand.
So here,
I
and
know my
that's
answer, but I'm curious.
Okay, so when I say they're like, man, this is kind of foreign to me, I just don't understand it. How does it create these coins out of thin air and all this other stuff? It sounds really made up. I just don't know if I can put my money into something that I just don't fully understand. And I say, hey man, I totally. What's that?
You understand the fractional reserve
Yeah.
system?
Well, most
You know
people.
how banks work?
Yeah,
They
most
don't.
people don't
Most
understand any
people
of that.
don't.
Yeah. Do I
No.
understand when I swipe my credit card how they transaction do all that other thing? I don't know that is. Here's the thing, guys. You're never going to be 100% comfortable with something until you're actually doing it anyway, right? I don't know how all of it works either. Okay, I think I'm getting a little more educated. But here's one thing that I know that is probably going to happen. Cryptocurrency and digital currency is going to hit mainstream at some point. Okay,
Yeah.
so now here's the option. You could sit on the sidelines like everybody else, and you can wait for that to happen, and then you can scramble around and try to figure it out, or you can join our community. Here's what you get when you join our community. One, you get access to generational wealth, because when you're a part of it, you get money or coins every single day for 135 tiers. Number two, which is a huge benefit, is you get to be a part of our community in our education. We're going to help you every step of the way to educate you to be comfortable with using digital currency, setting up wallets, sending money, moving it back. Man, when I first started doing this, and Bobby says, okay, well, send me this there, and I'm like, I wouldn't do it. I would drive up to the office, and before I would pay an invoice, I'd have to sit there and hit the button in front of him. And it was almost like I wanted his finger to touch that. He goes, just hit it. And I go, are you sure? It's going to get there. Now, I send transactions, no problem. Do I do it driving down the road?
Maybe.
It's pretty simple, right? And now I'm comfort. My comfort level went from here to here,
Yeah.
right? So again, that's what you get about this. You might not understand it now, and I totally get that. I didn't understand what I know. I know now a heck of a lot more than what I knew then, and even then I didn't know. And even now I don't know everything either. We're kind of doing this together, right? But I can tell you this, if you don't do this, what's going to fix X, Y, and Z? I just go back to that because I've already figured out their wants and their needs. Because again, guys, without this, most people don't have a plan. They're not going to get to where they want to be. Okay? We had him first.
I'll go first on the 5 minutes.
I can't hear us.
I'll go first on the 5 minutes if you want me to. So you know I'm not just asking a question. First of all, on that thing that you just said, I had to learn how to write a check at some point.
Yep.
I didn't trust credit cards when they first came out. And when the chips came out, I really didn't like that idea, but it just happens. But I wanted to say something about what you said. I like what you said in response to her question about the donations and stuff. But this is crowdfunding. You never have to use the word investment. You never have to use the word profit or share or any of that stuff. This is a crowdfunding project. I'm a musician. When I put out an album, I tell people if you would like to help us defray the cost of our studio time, you can sign up and give us a donation of whatever you want. If you give us $15, we'll send you a signed album. If you give us $25, we'll do this. So we have tiers, packages, right? But we have options. They can send us $1 billion if they want to, and I'll come kiss them every day. I love them. Or they can send me $5 and maybe I'll send them a CD first. But they'll send me something and I'll give them whatever I tell them. But they don't have to do any of that. And if they want to see that as investing in my project, I guess that's fine. But it's just crowdfunding. That's what it is. It's crowdfunding.
Like GoFundMe.
It's GoFundMe.
It's GoFundMe with a reward.
Nobody's making you do it. Nobody says you have to do it. You either get in because you want to be a part of it, the community, all the benefits you get, or you don't. But if you get in, you didn't buy anything. You did not buy a mining unit. You didn't purchase a share of the mine. You didn't do any of that. You participated in a voluntary crowdfund, period.
Period.
And once you say it to people like that, they're like, okay.
If you slap them like that too. if nothing else, you won't argue with the guy.
Yeah, I'd be like, hey, here.
You know what's funny too is when people don't understand crypto and you say that, and you give examples. Another analogy is think about when computers first came out.
Yes.
If somebody had to sell a computer in the very beginning and said, okay, so here's what we got. We're going to take this TV. We're going to take this TV, and then you're going to have a mouse. Okay, it's hooked up to this TV. And people are like, I don't want a mouse in my house. No, it's not a real mouse. It's just something that operates and you can move around and then you can open up and search, you know, and it gives you all the information that you ever need or whatever. You know, that's kind of confusing, right? But it worked, right? Same thing here. This is just, things are changing, right?
Because they were worried about it.
But again, guys, all objections, concerns, or complaints, you just need to funnel it back to the fact of their XYZ. What are they trying to fix? What are they looking for out there? Okay? And if you do that, if you're genuine and authentic and you've really, really figured that out, now you can't go back to that if you haven't asked those questions in the beginning. So again, somebody said it yesterday, put that commission behind you or that sales behind you if you're focusing on the person, because we're in relationships.
Yes.
Right? This is what it is. You're in the relationship business. You're not in the selling the seats business. Your relationship, if you're helping somebody and with their problem that they have, or maybe they don't know that they have a problem. So that's why you've got to ask the right questions to expose that. We have the best vehicle out there to fix those issues or those problems. We really do. So, a couple more. Yep.
When people say to me, well, I'm really, and I have a lot of these, I'm really not comfortable with crypto, I don't understand it, so I never got involved in it, whatever. I try to make it simple and just say, look, have you ever sent Zelle or Venmo or PayPal? Because I used to think about this kind of stuff. It's like, if I'm sending Zelle, I'm not really taking physical money to another bank. It's obviously going electronically. It's digital. So all we're doing different, instead of going from one bank to another, is from one wallet to another. That's it. That's all it is. It's just learning a new way to transact money. And whether you get involved in this project or not, you need to learn crypto because that is where it's going. And so when I explain it that way, they really kind of soften up and like, well, I guess it can't be that hard.
It's not hard.
Was this helpful, guys?
Yes, thank you.
Again, it all comes down to the people, the relationship, and if you're asking the right questions up front, then you're able to fit our project in to be the solution for them.